practice with everybody. Normally we get together but we spent so much time on the Zoom calls and spending so much time, spent an hour with the rookies, before meetings, and we spent about an hour afterwards with everybody, and just spent a lot of time dialing it up and getting ready for the season. And we've really shown up. We've done a great job on offense, really being explosive, being one of the highest scoring teams in football. And I think that we got a lot of playmakers. DK Metcalf can make some great plays. Tyler Lockett's been special. We're excited to get Chris Carson back out there and let him do his thing. Carlos Hyde's been a great addition. The line's been doing a great job, and it's all of us together collectively. And those playmakers out there, to have those guys around you really, really helps. And I think we're about to catch a groove. Hopefully, we got got tough challenges ahead of us, and we got to get ready to roll. But we feel like we've always gotten better as the season goes on, and I feel great. Body feels great. Mind feels great, and looking forward to hopefully getting on the hot streak here.
You mentioned DK and Tyler. When you talk about top receiver duos in the NFL, it's your name with DK and Tyler that's always on that list. What impresses you most about these guys? How are they different? And if there's a play that maybe stands out to you this season that best exemplifies the chemistry that you have with those guys, what would it be?
Well, Tyler Lockett's been so special for so many years. He's made so many plays for us. I mean, play after play, key third downs, key situations, and he just knows how to get open. And he's, we always in the team meetings, we always kind of compare him to Mario Kart, and just how fast and quick he is, and just he's amazing. He's an amazing player, an amazing guy. He's so smart, so intuitive, knows the game. He plays quarterback in a way. I think he wants to take my job, to be honest with you. And then DK Metcalf, we've spent so much time together this offseason. He doesn't act like a second-year player. He acts like a 10-year vet, and he's one of those guys that he has obviously the physical attributes, Michelle, but he's also got the mentality. He loves the game. He's passionate, and when you can find great receivers who are talented, intuitive, know the game so well, but also knowing that they love the process more than the end result. When you find guys like that, that's when you know you got something special. And Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are the best in the game, in my opinion, and their stats and what they're doing is showing that.
Is there a play, Russell, that you can think of that comes to mind where you and Tyler were just locked in, or you and DK were just locked in? I know there's been a lot of them,
yeah.
But is there a favorite play that you could pick out from this year?
Yeah. Well, I think with Tyler, his scramble drills, I think about the play he had against Arizona last week, kind of just spun out of there and went to the back corner, and just some of the things he does is so intuitive, really special player. I think with DK Metcalf, he's had some incredible plays. But I like the little stutter go stop route that he ran, last week too as well, and just how explosive he is against a great corner and guy like Patrick Peterson. We have so much respect for it. So, that's how he's really figuring it out. And then you go early into the season with DK when he caught the deep ball on Stephon Gilmore. I mean, he's a great corner too. So he's gone against some tough challenges, and he's risen to the occasion for sure.
So I'm obviously not going to tell you anything that you don't already know and that people haven't already told you over and over and over, but you're playing better this year than you did when you went to and won Super Bowl 48. And over a 9-year span in your career, you've won more football games than any quarterback. You've surpassed Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. You're always in these discussions, but you've yet to receive that one MVP vote. I know, I've heard you say it over the years, you want to be regarded as the best to have played this game. What will it mean to you to be the league MVP, especially this year when you're playing the way that you are?
Well, I think first of all, I think the MVP award definitely is an amazing award to win, and obviously I'm all about Super Bowls, Michelle. But I think the award with MVP, what makes it so special is that all the hard work you've put into it, all the focus, all the off-season work, all the years, and everything that you've done. It's a testament to you, but it's really more than anything else. It's a testament to the team, because if you're winning MVP, that means your team's winning, and I love winning. There's nothing more important than winning and doing that, and so that's why I do this job, is to put my go out there and help the Seahawks win. That's my number one job, and continue to do that, and continue to try to make spectacular plays, but more importantly, do whatever it takes to win. And for me, that's what I love about this game. I love the team camaraderie. I love how I'm I'm no good if we're not, doing it together. And it's a special thing, when we get to do it together. It's a really, really a fun game, and that's why I love playing this game. And hopefully we win a Super Bowl this year. Hopefully we get to win the MVP too. Who knows? But it's a process, and there's a lot of great players too as well.
I caught one of your podcasts, and you were interviewing Matthew McConaughey on Danger Talk, and you talked about being obsessed and how important it is to be obsessed. Can you just speak to that, just how important it is to be obsessed and to have that kind of universal feeling in the locker room, how that contributes to the success of your team?
Yeah, I think, on Danger Talk, as you mentioned, it was an amazing podcast with Matthew McConaughey, and he got to come on the podcast. He had just written his new book, Green Lights, and just talking about, life and how he's gotten to turn those red lights and yellow lights into green lights. And one of the things that we talked about was, this job that we get to play, him being one of the world's best actors, obviously, and me getting to play quarterback. The reality is that you have to get lost in the moment. You have to get so lost in the process. You have to, he talked about this idea that, he could be on set for months, and next thing you know, it's a wrap, and they'd say, the producer and director would say it's a wrap, and like he'd look around and be like, what do you mean? Like, we're done? Like, he gets so lost in the moment. I think the same thing for me when the season's going and in the middle of the week and you're studying on the film and you're in the film room and you're on the field and everything else, it's like you don't ever want to stop. And you got to get so obsessed with the process. You got to get so obsessed with the details and the attention to it and the love for the game. And, I'm old school in that approach. I think that for me, I'm old school. I want to sit there and watch film all day. I want to draw up plays. I want to process. I want to have as much knowledge and love the game and know the game better than anybody out there. And I think that's something that I've really tried to pride myself in every day. And the one thing I can say, when it's all said and done for me, and which is going to be hopefully 10, 15 years from now, God willing, it's one of those things that when I get to hang up my cleats and all that, I know, and I'll also know my teammates will know that I gave it all I had. I think to give everything that you have every day, and that's one of the greatest gifts that I could leave to myself and to this game, is just give everything you have. And that's why you got to be obsessed with the process. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, and I think that's why we've been fortunate to win as a team. We've been able to do so many things together, and it's a special thing.
Well, you really excel, especially in prime time. You're 9-2 in your career on Monday Night Football. What is it about the bright lights, the big stage that really elevates your game?
I've always envisioned as a kid, playing in front of thousands and millions of people and having the lights on. I go back to high school, actually. My high school teammates actually bring this up all the time. And I go back to high school, and we were playing Godwin High School. I went to collegiate school, and we were playing Godwin High School. And I had, thrown for a bunch of yards in several games and touchdowns and all that, whatever. But they had this big old sign. It was right before the pregame. They had a big old sign, and in the newspaper that day, they had the Russell Wilson show stops here, and they had a big old sign, in their fan section. And I'll never forget that night. And for some reason, for me, I've always loved the fact that, the pressure. I've always loved the lights. I've always loved how the ball flies in the air. There's a special thing about it, and for me, I just love being out there. I love the game. Like I told you earlier, it's fun being out there with your teammates and knowing that you get to have a blast while doing it and everybody's just watching. And so for me, I get poised in the midst of the chaos. And that's where I think that makes it real fun in prime time.
Yeah, speaking of primetime, last weekend during the Sunday night game, you could hear a lot of what Derek Carr was saying at the line. So when you factor in this noise factor, I guess, or lack thereof, the noise in the stadium, how have you guys had to adjust your hard counts at the line? What are you doing? And is it a situation where maybe you guys as quarterbacks are feeling more paranoid now than ever when you're calling these hard counts at the line, that these defenses are able to pick it up?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that you got to play the game. You got to play the game to know the game, and you got to play the game to win the game. And you got to understand, that the defense can hear a little bit more, and vice versa. But you got to be able to know how to change your play calls and change your looks, and really it's a game, to really manipulate the defense and to really put a challenge on the defense to make calls and to really process things too as well. And to me, obviously it's not as loud as a normal. Obviously playing in Lumen Field, aka old school CenturyLink, but Lumen Field, it's loud as it gets. When we have to go on the road and play in Philly, it's as loud as it gets there too as well. And so it's a challenge. Obviously, for them to be able to hear, they get to hear a little bit more now. But that's why we study. That's why and that's why they study, and that's why you always have to change things up and make it difficult for the defense.
Staying with defenses, your defense, they showed up big for you in your last game in Arizona against the Cardinals. There was a lot of pride on the line in that game. That had to excite you to see the way they played.
Yeah, our defense has been making clutch plays all year. I think that we've had some injuries and things that have happened to our defense that doesn't let us have our full group out there. But now we're getting healthy, and that's a scary thing. I get to go against these guys every day. They do such a good job on defense and really changing looks and doing a lot of great things. And so, obviously the addition of Jamal Adams has been special. Bobby Wagner has been lights out all year. Carlos Dunlap, what a get that John Center and Pete did getting him here on our team. He's been unbelievable. I think he got multiple sacks in the past few games that he's only played for us, and he's been a great teammate too as well, as has Jamal. And we got other guys coming back here. Hopefully Shaquille Griffin and just different guys. And so our defense has been amazing. In terms of clutch plays throughout the season, and now it's just that consistent play together and every third down, every situation. And they did a really good job last week against a really good quarterback in Kyler Murray, obviously, and their offense and all the guys they have. So, like I said earlier to you, Michelle, I think that we're peaking right at the right time, and that's a good thing for us. We want to be able to do that throughout the end of the season and get to December with a chance, and hopefully we can play in January and February.
We're going to take a little bit of a detour on this last one, but I'm just curious because I was such a huge fan when the incredible and inspirational Chadwick Boseman passed away. You just simply posted Wakanda Forever, and I'm wondering what kind of lasting imprint did he leave with you, and how do you think his legacy is going to forever impact African American athletes?
Well, I think this 2020 has been a difficult year as a whole. I never forget being, almost makes me tear up thinking about it, but I remember being at the Pro Bowl. We were about to, head out into the field, and we heard the news about, Kobe passing away. And that was a heavy day. That was a heavy day for all of us athletes, for anybody who loved greatness. That was a difficult day to play that game and to do the team prayer and stuff. And just to pray for the guys and pray for his family and everything else. That was a challenge. And, so I looked up to Kobe, I looked up to how he played the game and his mentality, and I got to be around him a little bit. And then with Chadwick, it made it even more difficult, because I started to get to know him a little bit. We sat at the ESPYs together, and me and C and Chadwick, and just, he was such a humble person. And to know that, more importantly, to know that he was able to do all that, all the movies he shot. I think he shot 5 major movies, I believe, or something crazy. And to know he did all that with cancer, with know that he was overcoming all this, and to all the people that he was influencing, and the graduation speeches and the things that he was able to influence and inspire people, knowing that I'm going to keep all this in, one, because I think that it's important that I keep being strong and for myself and everything else, but also to know that, he felt like he had a greater purpose, it seemed like, and it's devastating, and I think that sometimes in life, my dad used to always tell me, son, it's not the day that you're born, it's not the day that you die, but it's the hash mark in between. It's the hash mark in between that leads to significance. And I think guys like Kobe, I think guys like Chadwick, they changed history. They changed not just athletes, but people in general, and how they thought and how they processed and how they overcame. And both of those guys were overcomers. And so I looked up to both of those guys. I got to know them a little bit, and from just experiences and stuff. And so I think in terms of when you think about athletes as a whole, but in particular African American athletes and just people. I think that those two guys were a great demonstration of being able to overcome obstacles, challenges. They were people to be able to love in the midst of tough times. And I think that's what life's really about. And no matter how long we get to live, it's really that hash mark in between that we get to really display our significance and who we were able to impact. And so this year, like I said, it's been a tough year, but it's also been a year